Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to my channel, Wisconsin Hugs. My name is Tony Grillo, and I'm going to do another video on Facebook stuff because it's actually quite interesting. This lady, Amanda Johnson Anderson, I've been Facebook friends with her at least a couple years now. I believe she lives in California. I live in Wisconsin, so we might have different ideas, political beliefs, values. It's probably safe to say that we're on opposite spectrums. And of course, Dylan Mulvaney has made himself the center of the world again. There's some that say he is a total narcissist. I don't know him well enough to make that assessment, but some of his behaviors is consistent with that label. Anyways, she wrote a post here, and it is interesting because I'm seeing a lot of Dylan Mulvaney stuff on my Facebook, so I am going to do a video here, a quick one. I'm gonna not do this video in portrait mode because it's just too hard to try to scroll, and I want to read some of the comments and go through this post, so it's just easier for me to do it this way in Facebook mode here. So anyways, I had to respond to this as well, so I will read my response, and I did get somebody to respond. Amanda did not respond to my comment. I think she knows me well enough that she has decided that she does not want to debate me on anything when I'm in that kind of a mood. But one of her liberal friends did take me on, and it'll be interesting to see what they had to say. So anyways, she wrote, "I love her so very much. The hate she always receives." Notice she says she, but okay, she's calling Dylan a woman. She's a woman calling Dylan a woman. All right, interesting. All right. And she always handles it with such grace and compassion and always uses it as a teachable moment. And then she did the heart thing with the hands. Okay. And then she put this post up by this, I don't know, whoever this person is. I do not follow them. "The clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings and is still nowhere near as sensitive as conservative dudes on the internet." Most of the Facebook posts I'm seeing, guys are just laughing about this. They find it funny that a beer ad would, uh, uh, go this route. And I don't know if anybody's being sensitive about it. Maybe Kid Rock is, but most people are just kind of thinking it's funny. But here we go. Let's see if I can. Okay, so this person, Patty Salo, she did the puke uh, emoji. So Amanda says, "Well, though I would consider drinking it since they threw rainbows on it. Are you referring to Dylan, or not sure what's so gross about her? She's beautiful and grace." And then I don't know, I guess she must have wrote a comment and it maybe deleted it, but then Sandy steps in and says, "I know Amanda's being kind by being hopeful that you're just referring to the taste of Bud Light, but I'm almost positive it's due to the hate in your heart," or her heart. Yeah, must be her heart. "You evidently no idea who Dylan Mulvaney is. The way she can light up anyone's day no matter what says a lot about their character, and you posting Christian shit on your page while implying so much bigotry will say another for you. The reflection of yours is looking a bit musty." Okay, and then they're going back and forth. She says, "Oh yeah, her Christian love theme memes. I'm sure it was hateful." It is interesting that any if we don't agree with someone's opinion, immediately we're hateful. It is just amazing. I see that all the time, and that's and then they're going back, giving each other a bunch of love on her, back and forth. All right, so Kevin writes, this is a great step in the right direction. It's discussing how we treat other people. People just want to be happy and not be afraid of themselves. You know, he's got a point there. And I don't have a problem with Dylan doing what he does. My problem is that he pushes, he belongs to a movement that is pushing sex changing operation of drugs and making it available to children. That's where I have a problem with it, and many other people. Corey asks, who is it? So Corey doesn't even know who Dylan is. And then Crazy says, Dylan is grace and compassion, and inspiration and role model. Okay, well, man, if that's your idea of a role model, wow. Steven says, funny, though they throw away their Bud Light and say, I'm drinking Coors or Miller, and then Miller and Coors, Budweiser supports her. Well, no, they don't support her. They may, have, I guess they got rainbow cans, but they're not supporting her. Okay, now here I go, because, of course, I'm going to have to chime in on this. And so, I knew if I have to be careful how I write this, because, if you write it in such a way that people will just jump on you and say you're hating, they'll come after you. They'll attack you if you say. So I had to write it like, hey, this is my opinion. Okay. And so, and here I go. Oh boy, where do I even start? LOL. I'm not hating anyone. I just don't agree with how you see this person. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, and it's okay to disagree. I guess my problem is that he is not a woman, and his take on womanhood is actually offensive to women. He made vids running around the woods in high heels, all LOL, and all of a sudden he's crying all the time and can't balance his checkbook. Seriously? Then he meets with the president and advocates for sex-changing drugs and operations to be made available to all children. Actually, he wants it available to everyone. He didn't say children, okay, but he wants it made everyone. It's pretty clear when he says, I want it made available to everyone, he's including children. He didn't say, I want it made available to everyone that's 18 and older. No, he didn't say that. He said everyone. So I got to assume that he's talking about kids, because he did not make that clear. And I'm going to play that clip where he actually asked the president about that. So, because somebody challenged me on saying that I was saying lies. So anybody that supports sex-changing operations on 5-year-olds like he does, well, then you are a monster. Do you have any kids? Would you have done that to them? No, because it's insane. Very much so. Yeah, that is my opinion of Dylan Mulvaney. He is no shining light. So, I did get a reply. Okay, let's see the reply. Okay. Jordan says, no, it's not okay to disagree with your opinion. It's full of false narratives, hate, and bigotry. Are you a woman? How could you possibly know what womanhood is like? If women aren't offended by her, then it's weird you are. Actually, women are offended by her. Okay. And then Danielle Martin, because I'm going to play a video where a woman talks about that. I can't even respond to the inaccuracies and blatant lies. No one nowhere has ever said 5-year-olds should have a sick. There is so much here more that a parent and their medical support team has to go through, mental health, psychological, puberty guidelines recommended. Kids are mature enough to make informed decisions. This is around 16, and parental consent is typically required. By the way, transgender medical treatment has been around for decades, and is backed. So, a lot of what she says is actually wrong. It's so wrong. We do have, it is interesting how, statutory rape laws, they have a set age, for that, also, How about you worry about your kids and let others worry about it, or educate yourself before throwing an opinion around? Okay, well, yeah. I said, okay, you were wrong about Dylan Mulvaney because he actually did support the president. He actually did ask the president if he supported sex changing and drugs operations on children. And the president responded by saying it should be made available to everyone. And that's exactly what the president said. He said, everyone. Glad to educate you. And then I added, Minnesota just passed a law, making it a safe haven for children to have sex-changing operations and sex-changing drugs. That's the kind of insanity you support by standing with Dylan. Tennessee just passed laws banning the same stuff. So this stuff's happening all over the country, and Dylan is openly pushing for it. Come on, I shouldn't even be debating this. And then this guy says, that's a man. And Johnny Wood says, her. And then J.C. Smith says, boy, you got some ignorant pukes on your friends list, miss. And then David says, yeah, it's a mentally ill man. Glad you are promoting Mentally Ill Awareness Month. And he's exactly right, And then here we go. Isn't it great to see women finally get some representation, And exactly, I mean, when you have Caitlyn Jenner wins Woman of the Year, I mean, they gave it to a man. They gave the award to a man, Woman of the Year, Time Magazine, Caitlyn Jenner. They gave it to a man. Come on, really? Seriously?
6 being a girl, and today I'm in nature. Trees, I love them. Water, lakes, I love them. Heels, they're my hiking heels. I love them. Bridges, love them. Coconut water, love it. Not an ad, just love it. Wind turbine, love it. Meadows, love them. I'm scared of getting Lyme disease. Love ya. Oh. Did you see that? I gotta get out of here. Did you see that? There's a dragon. Oh my god. Never again. Get me out of here. Love ya. Day 6.
All right. So let's take a look at this video that Dylan Mulvaney.
Day 1 of being a girl, and I have already cried 3 times. I wrote a scathing email that I did not send. I ordered dresses online that I couldn't afford. And then when someone asked me how I was, I said, I'm fine, when I wasn't fine. So, how'd I do, ladies? Good? Girl power.
Mr. Dylan Mulvaney, you asked how you did. So I'm going to tell you honestly that I think you did pretty poorly, because what you've just described is a passive-aggressive, hormonal creature who's bad with finances and can't be trusted to tell the truth. And if that's what you think a woman is, I think you're sorely mistaken. Also, if this is your first day of being a woman, I'd like to know why you think it's something you can turn on or off. My first day of being a woman was the day I was born.
Day 1 allows me access to the resources I need, and that decision is just between me and my doctors. But many states have lawmakers that feel like they can involve themselves in this very personal process. Do you think states should have a right to ban gender-affirming health care?
I don't think any state or anybody should have the right to do that. As a moral question and as a legal question. I just think it's wrong. I think I was saying before we started that my deceased son, used to be the Attorney General of the state of Delaware. He passed the broadest piece of legislation that he, as Attorney General, was able to convince the legislature and the governor to sign, that dealt with all gender-affirming capability. I mean, there's a lot of, sometimes they try to block you from being able to access certain medicines, being able to access certain procedures, and so on. None of that should be available. I mean, no state should be able to do that, in my view. So I feel very, very strongly that you should have every single solitary right, including use of your gender identity bathrooms in public.
Thank you.
Be directly asked during a White House press briefing. But it did. And finally, yesterday, a reporter asked Karen Jean-Pierre about child gender transition and what age she thinks people should be allowed to undergo these procedures. Actually, what age does Biden think children should be allowed to undergo these procedures? And that's when Karen Jean-Pierre stunned the entire nation by taking a firm, common sense, moral stand and declaring that obviously nobody under the age of 18 should be having their bodies permanently altered and mutilated in this way. Just kidding, of course. That would never happen. Her answer was as ghastly and horrifying as you would already expect. Here it is.
Indiana just banned puberty blockers, hormone therapies, and gender transition surgeries for minors. I'm wondering what the president's reaction is to the Indiana governor signing that bill into law, and does the president have a position on at what age these kinds of therapies and surgeries are appropriate?
That's something for a child and their parents to decide. It's not something we believe should be decided by legislators.
Something for a child to decide. Now, she throws the parent into, she says a child and the parent can decide, which means the child can choose. She believes that children can consent. And she isn't willing to put any age limit on it. Okay, so she isn't willing to even say, well, hey, obviously we shouldn't be doing sex change surgeries to toddlers. She won't even say that. She's not willing to put any age limit on it. Biden isn't willing to put any age limit on it because the child can choose. Now,
okay, so maybe it wasn't Time Magazine's Woman of the Year, but it was Glamour. Glamour. She was Caitlyn Jenner. He was given Glamour's Woman of the Year. Let's read this because this one lady that commented on my comment said that these operations have been around forever, and people shouldn't be horrified by them. That I'm spreading lies. Well, here let's read what these people say. I literally lost organs. Why? Detransition genes regret changing genders. Okay. When Chloe was 12 years old, she decided she was transgender. At 13, she came out to her parents. They put her on puberty blockers and prescribed testosterone. At 15, she underwent a double mastectomy. Less than a year later, she realized she made a mistake, all by the time she was 16 years old. And now, 17, she is one of a growing cohort called detransitioners, those who seek to reverse a gender transition, often after realizing they actually do identify with their biological sex. Tragically, many will struggle for the rest of their lives with the irreversible medical consequences of a decision they made as minors. I can't stay quiet, said Chloe. I need to do something about this and share my own cautionary tale. And in recent years, the number of children experiencing gender dysphoria has skyrocketed. Exact figures are difficult to come by, but between 2009 and 2019, children being referred for transitioning treatment in the United Kingdom increased 1,000%. Among males, 4,400% among biological females. Okay? So it seems like females like to transition. They want to, that suffer from this gender dysphoria, want to be a man but look at the percentage increase of the large number of cases that's going on, and people aren't concerned about Dylan Mulvaney pushing this kind of lifestyle, and kids seeing it and saying, hey, I want to do this. I want to be like Dylan. And people shouldn't be like speaking out against this. Yeah. Historically, transitioning from male to female was more common. And female to male has been overwhelmingly the majority, okay? And then they talk a little bit about what's going on in the head of a young female. Helena Kirshner, she's 23 years old. She's a detransitioner from Cincinnati, Ohio, was born a female. She felt gender dysphoria at 14, and she says she cited Tumblr sites filled with transgender activist content spurred her transition. Yeah, she saw all this stuff from these transgender activists, and it motivated her, influenced her to make a decision that she now regrets for the rest of her life. So I have no problems with speaking out against people like Dylan Mulvaney. I really don't. In fact, I sleep well at night. And I hope, that's all you could say. I don't feel any I don't have any problems sleeping at night. Basically, that's the bottom line.
Extreme lies about transgender people in the current era is that we wish to trick or force children into getting surgeries that will irrevocably alter their bodies. Here's the thing that is depressingly hilarious about that. Doctors are making these kinds of decisions and performing surgeries on not only children but infants frequently when they encounter an intersex child and decide that should either be a boy or a girl. And they will then perform a surgery on a child who has no choice and is perfectly healthy. Cis people, the only ones who are forcing children to have surgeries over their gender is you. One of the most extreme...
So I played some of those videos, showed you that Facebook debate. Wasn't much of a debate, but that last video I played with that man that was, I guess, looked like a lady, and he was debating the operations and everything. It is interesting that in order to argue his point, he defends it by using the absolute smallest case percentage of reasons why those operations need to be performed, and he uses it on intergender babies. This is a very small, significantly small portion, minuscule portion of the population that is born intergender, two sexes. And then, when that person is born that way, sometimes a decision is made to have an operation, but it's a very rare case, and it's not. People are not normally born that way. You're either born a man or you're born a woman. But for him to make the point that it's okay to do sex changing operations on children because of a minuscule birth abnormality, well, I don't know. That goes to show us all the lengths that they will go to try to justify their stand, which to me is complete and total insanity, because any parent in their right mind would never allow their child to be operated that way, change sex of their child on a 5-year-old or whatever, and you just don't do that, and so that's all I gotta say,
I hope you all have a great day. Wisconsin Hugs.